master craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C-Certified Brewhead, and welcome to another edition of Beer Mail here on BAOS this evening. You know what it is. Bomb beers, as always. Huge shout out to the team at Redline out in Barrie, Ontario. Today this actually arrived, and I was so amped, I had to get right into it. Redline are some of my favorite haze makers in Ontario. Didn't want to just classify them as haze makers, that's why I paused for a moment. But they make some fantastic beers that have really been sort of one of the earlier breweries into the hazy type of stuff, particularly with their Clutch Pale Ale, which has been one of the more available hazy type of IPAs or Pale Ales or whatever. That was at LCBOs forever and stuff. It's super, super sick. I bought that a lot for trades from people in Vancouver and stuff because I knew that they would appreciate that. So this evening, ladies and gentlemen, I have a few joints. The first one here is Air Ride. It's a 6.1% IPA. I had this with Drew, who was a previous sales rep at Redline at Barrie, I think it's called now. Sometime during the summer, and it was bomb. So keen to get that again. Rainbow in the Dark. It's a winter rye IPA. I remember having this on New Year's Eve at Bar Hop last year. Of course, being New Year's Eve, I don't remember it incredibly well. So I'm looking forward to trying that. That's the brand new release. And this bad boy, does that have a date? Packaged on 20th of September. Okay, so it's like a month old. Double Clutch. I've never had a fresh one of this. This is still about a month old, which is, I guess, not incredibly fresh, but probably the freshest one I've had. I've had it twice, and the second time it was a couple months old, so I'm ready for that. All right, let's get into it. Air Ride. So this bad boy, I'm not actually entirely familiar with the hop profile on it. I had it on draft, so I haven't seen it out of a can. I don't know if sometimes the haze levels or small things like that differ from can to draft, but I'm just going to give the yeast a rouse, as the kids say, and see if that changes it. That's relatively hazy. I would say opaque. Mate, give me a ton of tropical right here. Yeah, so I like to get it all in just in case. I've mentioned it before, but if you guys haven't seen any of the videos where we say it, but basically I realized that when I would have, say, one glass and use that for all the beers I'd be reviewing, and I'd pour a little bit in, and then sometimes I wouldn't wash it out, and I realized that, like, after the fact, we turn off the cameras and we're drinking the beer, and you pour the whole thing, and then the color changes and the flavor profiles change. So now we're pretty strict with, unless it's like a few of us in the video, with keeping it in one glass and making sure it all comes in. Because yeah, it could look like this, then you pour the rest with the yeast, and then all of a sudden it's a completely different color, and the flavors do definitely change. So, alright, I'm gonna try not to swallow too much foam here. Get in ya. That is lovely. Chalky, dry, dusty, tropical. I feel like it's like slightly bitter, but I talked about this in another video we released recently about the first beer of the night, which this is. I feel like I'm interpreting the flavors wrong. I posted on Facebook, and someone commented that yeah, they agree that it's a little weird, and I was like, maybe I should have a palate warmer. And Noah, a mate from Beerism, said, nah, don't do that, fam. You just get used to it after a little bit. So the problem or the restriction with these videos is they're short, and I'm trying to get the big picture of a beer within 2 minutes. But yeah, this is she's a gem. This is exactly as I remember it. Just 6.1, super drinkable, not overly heavy, smooth and creamy. I would like it a little hazier, or just for my visual, I would prefer that, but it tastes a lot hazier than it looks, if that makes sense. One thing I did notice actually was Clutch. Ren, a good friend, you might know her, Ren Navarro from the university, she laced me with a couple of Clutches earlier this year in the summer or something, and they were not hazy at all. And I was somewhat surprised to learn that. I looked it up, and a lot of people were talking about the fact that the haze levels had changed in that beer. So I don't remember the reasons for it. I can't remember if it was intentional or not. but that could also have applied to their other beers. So this is the Rainbow in the Dark Winter Rye IPA. Once again, I recall this beer being extremely hazy. I might be tripping out. Let me know if I am completely incorrect in that, mate. That is a serious head. Look at that, mate. Jeez. All right. So we just skip forward to reducing the head there. So yeah, I remember this being hazy. Once again, it was New Year's Eve in a dark bar. So who really knows? 6.6%. It's a winter rye IPA. I don't know what makes it a winter one specifically, but I guess it is using rye, so it has a different flavor profile. It definitely has that treehouse dank kind of vibe, as opposed to, say, the more fruity, chalky Trillium vibe, which the Air Ride had. So let's get this in me. Cheers. Lovely. Yep, so this is definitely that treehouse danky thing. It's a little bit on the bitter side, piney, damn near resiny. Still fruity. It's a nice balance between the fruitiness and the and fruity sweetness, as well as the bitter and pininess. Pillowy and smooth as well. As expected, all of Redline's sort of IPAs have been very smooth the whole time. There's been never any like super overly harsh ones that I've had, at least. I've had most of their big ones. Yeah, this is great. I like this a lot, and it's 6.6%, so super crushable. I would assume that potentially they're going for the winter vibe with the rye, being a Canadian ingredient as well, and it's sort of a little richer, I guess, than the Air Ride. It's got a little bit more to it. This is more just straight like fruit juice, whereas this, it has, it's got that piney bitterness that kind of gives it a bit of a balance, and it's not as strict like New England or anything like that. So this is a beaut. All right, the big boy, double clutch. Now, I'm going to use a interesting drinking vessel for this one that'll probably piss half the internet off and intrigue the other half. So the good folks at Back Channel Brewing in Minnesota somewhere, I forgot where, sent a bowl. They call it a beer bowl. They discovered the use of a beer bowl when they were at an Airbnb. They had no glassware, so they used a bowl, and they really enjoyed the drinking process. They liked that it was a deliberate, you had to pay a lot of attention to the actual sip, rather than just with a glass and you just casually smash it in your face. So I've drank out of this numerous times. We posted it on BAOS not too long ago, and it had quite the divisive comments. It was pretty funny. Some people got extraordinarily upset over it. So I just want to say, first of all, guys, craft beer is fun. We're drinking fucking beer. Like, it's not that serious. So, like, at the end of the day, you might think this is dumb. It sort of is. Like, it's a bowl. Why are we drinking out of a bowl? There's reasons we drink out of a glass. But what I enjoy about it, it's just something different. And it attributes, the way we tried it with a double IPA here one time, which was that photo, and it filled up the entire room with like a hop. What do you want? It's like that, it's not like a tropical jungle in here, and I like that. That's why I wanted to do it for double clutch. Also, because I had proper IPA glasses for the rest, and I didn't have anything else. So I figured because this is the boldest, biggest beer, it would actually stand out the best in a bowl. So. This is their, already, those aromatics, Jesus Christ, it's taken over. So this is their big guy, double IPA, I believe it's 8.1? 8.1? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is bold. So like I said, I've had it 2 times maybe, and they just weren't super fresh. So, get a bowl up, yeah. Cheers. Oh yeah. See, I'm single-handing that bowl, mate. Know what I'm doing. This is great. Does not taste 8.1. Super fruity as well. Definitely has a bit more of that piney dankness, similar to the Rainbow in the Dark. Smooth. I wouldn't say creamy, but it's super smooth. So it's kind of like, these are very distinct beers, actually. So we're going from straight fruit with Air Ride to like a lot more piney dankness with the Rainbow in the Dark. And then this sort of rounds it off. Super hoppy. It doesn't have, like, it's not straight fruit, and it's not like super chalky or anything like that. Relatively hazy too. Yeah, but it's got a lot to it. It's got a real solid hop backbone in this one that isn't just fruit juice. It goes down super well. I can see why this is like their most popular beer. And it works really well in this. Ooh, can you smell it from there? Well, not really. Probably not enough time yet. No. Okay. I think as it warms up, like all the aromatics kind of leave. So one downside of the bowl is that you don't really get a head, as you saw, because it does need that the closeness to make the head actually form. But the aromatics are pretty cool. You can double hand it. You single hand it. It's kind of fun. Even the guys at Back Channel were like, it's not an everyday glass. So it's something that I just bust out for fun. I've had it in a stout too. I had a milk stout in it, which was quite fun. And someone asked me, I thought it was hilarious. Like, where do you store it? With the glasses or with the bowls? I was like, good point. I keep it with the bowls because look how wide that is. Like that takes a lot of real estate up in the glass cabinets, so that goes straight with the bowls. But I digress, guys. Redline's IPA lineup, genuinely fantastic. I enjoy all of these beers. I'd like to know what happened to the haziness. I genuinely might be tripping out that I thought that at least these two, the Air Ride and the Rainbow, were hazier than they are now. They're all certainly opaque. I just wonder if that has changed intentionally, and if that impacted the flavor at all. These were all very... it's exactly the type of beers that I would like to drink. So that's why I was super, super excited, and they all lived up to the hype. So, guys, thank you again. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, mate, boom, smash the thumbs up. Hit subscribe below. Hit the notification bell so you know when the new drops. Follow us on social media at BAOS Podcast. And check out the long-form audio. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rate, review, subscribe. Always fire stuff coming. That is it, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. And as always, I'm going to go this one. Get a bowl in you.